Hey, do you want to read books a lot quicker? In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to read books real quick. Better bleep that out. Let's get started. Whoop! What's going on, guys? It's your boy Kevin Yee, the Farm D. Before we get started, I would love to know, what kind of books are you reading? Please comment below and make sure to like, comment, subscribe to this video. So what was interesting growing up when I was a little kid, I used to love going to a library, reading books and whatnot. And then somewhere along my teenage years, I stopped reading altogether, right? Probably didn't have the time doing all these AP classes and all that. And I stopped reading books until the end of my pharmacy career, my pharmacy school. But when after I graduated, I started having more time, and especially when I started to have my own business, I started reading books on a consistent manner. And I think books are a great way to bridge the knowledge or skill gap, right? Usually where you are right now and where you want to be, there's three things that are missing. Usually it's skills, accountability, and mentorship. And books are a great economical way to bridge that gap. And look at my bookcase, it is a huge mess. And come to think of it, a few years ago, I barely had any books. So I accumulated all these books probably within the last 5 years. But if there's one important thing about reading books, you don't want to have this Japanese syndrome of Sendoku, right? Of just collecting books just on your bookcase. I'm very guilty of that, by the way. Books are only good if you actually take the knowledge, assimilate it into yourself, and really apply the knowledge, because knowledge is only good once you apply it. It's kind of like, reading all the books that you want about riding bikes versus actually getting on a bike and practicing. So my thought is, the faster we can assimilate, or the faster we can acquire the knowledge and retain the knowledge, the more that we can apply it. And that's a huge thing. You got to implement this knowledge. But through the years of listening to Tim Ferris podcast, listening to other people, this is the best way for me to kind of read books. And typically I'll read 2 to 3 books every single week, right? I'm not like one of those one a day type of people, but usually I'll block out anywhere from an hour to 2 hours per day, and I'll polish off a book really quick, depending on how long it is as well. And also something to keep in mind too, if you're trying to read a book like The Power of Now, which is a really hard book to read, probably not that great. So there's really 3 steps that I use to read a book. And the truth is, a lot of us want to read more. Some of the obstacles include time, being really tired. So a lot of time when I was in pharmacy, I'll buy a book and it would just sit on the shelf. And this was even for the books that I really enjoyed, the things that I really want to learn. And I was feeling this way. Step number 1, I always buy the physical book. I always like having a physical book where I can take a look at the book, use something like a flashcard, and then pretty much if I'm reading line by line, use this to kind of block out the rest of the words so that you can just focus on the actual text itself, right? So that's the first step. Second step is, oh shit. Sorry, my books just dropped. Second step is actually to purchase a audiobook or get an audio copy. If you're really lucky, sometimes you can go on YouTube, but if you can't find an audio copy, make sure to subscribe to Audible using my link. I feel like every successful YouTuber plugs in their Audible. So now it's time for Kevin Yee to plug in my Audible for my YouTube channel. But yes, get an Audible account if you can find it. Like I said, if you can also sometimes find a Audible version on YouTube. For example, I found the Miracle Morning on YouTube. So I kind of want to show you what I meant by doing the whole YouTube thing. Sometimes you can type in things like Miracle Morning, audiobook, and sometimes you'll find a full readout as well for like the Miracle Morning. So it's about 4 hours. This one is actually a readout for a Miracle Morning.
whatnot. Sometimes you can find it, sometimes you can't, but I always like to check on YouTube first before I do anything. But support the authors. I mean, it takes a lot of time to create a book like this, so yeah, support the authors, buy the physical book, and then you can listen to this as well. So this is just a supplemental type of thing that I like to do. Another cool trick that you can use is actually your local library. So for example, I pulled up this book called The Go-Giver, and it looks like, yes, they have the physical book, but they also have the ebook and the e-audio book. So these are downloadable. You can actually add it to your list and whatnot. So don't let being broke be a excuse. I mean, you can use your local library, and there's a lot of options that right there that you can use, right?
So if you can't find it, you might be out of luck, right? Now, third step, this is the most crucial. You need to play it at 2x speed and read at the same time. This is really key. It keeps you at a constant pace. This is the secret sauce. And you'll find that you can actually go through a book, retain a lot more. Not only are you getting the visual stimulus, you're getting the audible stimulus. There's really great benefit to having a visual and audio stimulus, right? Because you're just really you're truly focused on the text, and you can actually get more out of it while speeding up your reading. So that's a quick tip, guys. I learned this from Tim Ferris. I use it all the time. I would really recommend you guys to use it. But even so, even the flashcard trick works really, really well. And I forgot, there was one guest on Joe Rogan who said that,
hey, so it wasn't actually on Joe Rogan, it was on the H3 podcast. So check it out. It's titled Jordan Peterson on the Importance of Reading. Make sure to check it out about the 115 mark. He actually goes into depth about the difference between reading and listening to a video or watching a podcast, or watching a video or listening to a podcast. Got it mixed up, but check it out.
Reading is really great because it gives you the time to introspect, to really think through the questions, rather than when you're just consuming a video. You never really get a chance to stop, pause, put the book down, think about how you can apply it. So there's more mental activity, and that's why reading is so important too, versus always watching videos. Anyways, that is my quick tip for reading books really fucking quick. I would love to hear your suggestions on, how are you guys reading quicker and all that. If you got any book hacks, type below in the comments. And if you made it to end of the video, put the hashtag hustle gang in the comments below. If you don't see any hustle gang hashtags, that means my video sucks. So would appreciate the love. Anyways, guys, this is Kevin Yee, the Farm D, headed out. I will talk to you later, mother people. Take care and make sure to subscribe. Peace. Bye.